Today, I'll be doing lots of law of attraction stuff. I guess because I guess sometime or most of the time it's a great reminder of how where things begin, and we're gonna be talking about the field by Lynne Mctaggart. Uh, kind of chop her in it. I don't know, but this book it's about the quantum world, about quantum how the world that what is seen doesn't seem right to the physical eye. Meaning that we think that these things that we're surrounded by are physical. They are physical, but you think that they're nothing special. You don't see when it comes to the law of attraction, people say that there are vibration around us each and every day. They say for you and I, right? Whether we as a human race, as a society, as a whole, as a city, as the universe, everything that we see is not separated but connected, right? Sometimes we humans make it too complicated. We think that this thing are outside of us. That's why uh, I don't want to get into that, but that's why most things, most of the world separate us from seeing the whole truth and what is the truth. I've been seeking the truth. To be honest, I've been on this path for a very long time, and I've been trying to seek the truth and what is true. Because seeking, yes, the reason why I seek the truth because I want to find out what is false to the human eye. You see, we see what is in front of us, right? We see this physical manifestation, but underneath, what's behind the atom? What's its doing? And they say that we are vibrating at a certain frequency. If we change our mind, because our mind is like a dial, when we tune into a certain frequency, when we think of something, meaning we're tuning in something, and then we're dialing in, and then we're sending that message through the universe. We're sending that thought vibration into the world, and it come back to us via the manifestation that all people want to attract. But sometimes we send a mixed signal, right? People say we sometimes send a mixed signal. So I'm gonna read you this. Discoveries are being made that prove what religion has always espoused, that human beings are far more extraordinary than a symbol of flesh and bones. And at its most fundamental, this new science answered a question that has been perplexed science for hundreds of years, at least most profound. This is a science of miraculous. What they have discovered is nothing less than astonishing. At our most elemental, we are not a chemical reaction, but energetic charge. Human beings and all living things are a coalesce of energy in a field of energy connected to everything in the world. This pulsating energy field is the central engine of our being and our consciousness, the alpha and the omega of existence. So whether we're different color, different race, we're all connected. That's why they always say we're all one. Because we came from the Big Bang. After the Big Bang, things just shoot out from that. I mean, I have read it, but it get complicated, because they have all the complicated mathematics, and they have. I mean, I'm for science. I'm for science. I love science. It's just that when it explaining quantum. I've been reading quantum physics for a while and still right in my head. I was like, what is it saying? I still don't know what it is. Ugh, it's so hard. But I still love it because the thing is the atom, the our body, our our whole body give off energy. That's why they said we need energy. Like food is energy. You're eating energy, so you consume it to be able to have energy. That's why when you don't have energy, when you don't eat food, or when you feel luggage, the right type of food anyway, or the mental nutrients that we need, the mind, right? I think that the mind control our energy. So that's why every time you hear the mind, what your eyes, your ears, you listen to, whatever you consume, it control your energy, it control the direction of where your life going to be. You know, that's funny. I was listening to Earl Nightingale yesterday, and he was talking about where you think, what you think about all day long is where you're going to end up be, or where you will arrive. Either 5, 10 years, you're gonna be there. It depends on where your mind is at. Where if people are from moment to moment, day to day, like paycheck to paycheck, or living day to day without any goals or plan for their future, they're going to arrive at the same place they're going to be. And mostly, we don't want to be that. We want to arrive in a different destination, right? We want it to be where how we want it to be. But we can't, because I realize most people hate goals, but goals aren't there just to accumulate things. It's there to direct your mind. I'm telling you, all the books, all the audio program about Earl Nightingale, The Strange Sea, it's about directing your mind to which end you want to. And it's basically the goal is there so you can see it, so you won't get distracted by that day to day, um, where negative, because you're surrounded by negativity all the time, and you have to go back, because if you are off track and you listen to the negative, it's gonna push you off course, and you will arrive in the future which you have created yourself, and you don't want that, right? Man, it's crazy, man. You gotta do. Here you go. Here we go. This war of separates should have been laid waste once and for all by the discovery of quantum physics in the early part of the 20th century. As the pioneer of quantum physics peers into the very heart of matter, they were astounded by what they saw. The tiniest bits of matter weren't even matter, as we know. Not even set something, but something, one thing, sometimes something quite different. And even stranger, there were often many possible things at all at the same time. But most significantly, these subatomic particles had no meaning in isolation, but only in relationship with everything else. At its most elemental, matter couldn't be chopped up into small, uh, contain little units, but completely indivisible. You can only understand the universe as a dynamic web of interactions. These ones in contract remain always in contract through all space and time. Indeed, time and space themselves appear to be arbitrary contracts, no longer applicable at this level of the world. Time and space as we know them did not exist. In fact, exist. All that appeared as far as the eye could see was one long landscape of here and now. That's why you should focus your goal and try to achieve them, because you're vibrating at a certain frequency, so you attract that into your life. Now, it get complicated when people get all this thing complicated and they don't take action towards their dream, so they don't do it, right? Because they have all these ideas, and they're not putting that into action because they have uh, paralysis by analysis. That means they have over uh, complicate things in their mind. They overload themselves too much. So just make it simple. I mean, I like to read things, and sometimes I do make. A while back, I did make a lot of simple things. Complicated things, but it's all about understanding our relationship with. It's basically, too many people, I think that we create too complicated things. So in order to increase your vibration, it's all have to do with your mind. Your mind is like an off switch. That's why they have psychics. We most people get scared of the word psychic, but everyone is psychic. Psyche, if you take it out, psyche is Greek for soul and mind. And once you understand how to um, tune in the dial of vibration of what you want, all you do is going to that level of vibration. Usually, people who are successful have a higher vibration than unsuccessful people, because unsuccessful people have their vibration out of a line because they're like all over the place, like they're vibrating all over the place, while successful people have a focus of amplitude of vibration where they focus their energy and they come through to them by via manifestation, of that power, right? And anything you do when you have a focus of a surge of energy, anything like electrical, or you it get more powerful, right? It's the same thing when you I give you a great example. I don't know if you maybe people who don't watch anime, uh, I would talk about Dragon Ball Z, but I don't. I would talk. Let's say if we can have a power that instead of using our mind to attract, let's say in my world, in my fantasy world, where I can imagine a light ball of energy, right? And I charge it up, and you see a ball of energy, and I'll charge it up, and I say the Kamehameha, Kamehameha, and then it blasts through using my chi alone and energy. I always want to do that because look, nobody can fly. Well, they say we can. No, I wanted to. It's like because my dream is always want to fly without the plane, uh, where we can use our body to transform transportation into another state. It'd be awesome. It's not called lazy. It's called uh, not wasting your time. But it's like, but when we dug deep in the quantum world, it's very strange, right? In the small particle, they act very strange. Like we may see like um an atom, they're not moving, but in those walls they're actually moving, and somehow sometimes we forget that, right? And it vibrate at a certain frequency. So we. So but the thing is here's the thing. Here's the trick of this thing. We have the ability to be able to raise our as we raise our consciousness as we become aware of our relationship with uh, the universe, or when we become aware of the laws of the universe, when we become one with ourself, we can align ourselves with the law. Because most people who are unsuccessful, or most people who are don't know what they want, they're always hit and miss. That's why they don't attract what they want, because they don't know how to direct their mind. That's why if you read Think and Grow Rich, if you read anything, it's all about directing your mind to which end you want. And when you understand how to direct that your mind, then you'll be able to get the universe to aid you in where you want to go. Um, Several thought again that field equation has always been subtracted in the quantum physics. These equations stood for the zero-point field, an ocean of microscopic vibration in the space between things. If the zero-point field were included in our conception of most fundamental nature of matter, they realized that very underpinning of our universe was a heaving sea of energy, one vast quantum field. If this were true, everything would be connected to everything else like some invisible web. They also discovered that we were made of the same basic material. On our most fundamental level, living beings, including human beings, were packets of quantum energy constantly exchanging information with this exhaustible energy sea. Living things emit a weak radiation, and this was the most crucial aspect of biological processes. Information about all aspects of life, from cellular communication to the vast arrays of controls of DNA, were related through an information exchange on the quantum level. Even our minds, that others supposedly so outside of the laws of matter, operate according to quantum processes. Thinking, feeling, even higher cognitive function had to do with quantum information postulating, simulating through our brains and bodies. Human perception occurs because of interaction between the subatomic particle of our brains, the quantum energy sea. We literally resonate with our world. And then one more. In the quantum world, quantum fields are not mediated by the force but by exchange of energy. That's why we exchange our energy all the time through the medium of our subconscious mind, and we send that thought. That's why we can pick up a vibration by our intuition, or you can call it our gut, because someone is sending message to us via their mind, and that's why how psychic works, and it's because we're connected with our other people's subconscious mind. Because think about it, we can we're so much powerful, right? Our mind, like our ability to create with our mind is powerful. We can create things with our mind, right? We can our mind is so powerful. Why? Because we can create anything out of thin air. Like most people think it's woo or it's magical. It's not. All you do is think about great things, imagine it out, anything, and it turn to and try to and pluck it out, and then take physical action and believe that's going to happen, and you move that into that vibration, and then you attract it. It seems magical, but it's not. Here we go. In this constant exchange and intrinsic property of particles, so that even real particles are nothing more than a little knot of energy, which briefly emerges and disappears back into underlying field. According to quantum theory, the individual entity is transcendent in this substantive particle cannot be separated from the empty space around it. Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein himself, but it doesn't say Albert Einstein. Einstein himself recognized that matter itself was extremely intense, a disturbance in a sense of perfect randomness, and that the only fundamental reality was the entity, the field itself. Fluctuation in the atom world, atomic world, among two ceaseless, passing back and forth of energy like a ball in a game of ping pong. This energy exchange is analogous to loaning someone a penny. You're a penny poorer, he is a penny richer, until he returned the penny and the roles reversed. This sort of emission and reabsorption of the virtual particle occurs not only among protons and electrons, but with all the quantum particles in the universe. The zero-point field is a repertory of all fields and all ground energy state in all virtual particle. A field's a field. Every exchange of every virtual particle radiates energy. The zero-point energy in any particular transaction in an electromagnetic field is unmanageable tiny, half of a proton worth. If you add all of the particles of all of varieties in the universe consistently popping in and out of being, you come up with a vast and inexhaustible energy source, equal to or greater than the energy density in an atomic nucleus, all sitting there obscurely in the background of empty space around us, like one all persuasive supercharged backdrop. It has calculated that the total energy of the zero-point field exceeds all energy matter by a factor of 10 in the 40, or followed by the 40 zeros. And then I'm trying to figure out. I want to read this one. Okay, so let me get this straight. Okay, when we understand our relationship with the world, we can do incredible things. That's why I want to read that, because we can do incredible things in the world. We can create things, and I wanted to say that we have the power to do that. We have the power to create nothing from something, but it's by our belief in ourselves. It's by our belief in ourselves. It's by a faith that is more powerful than ourselves. When we are uh, get this help from the universe, and we combine our oneness with God, universe, whatever, and we move into the direction of our dreams, amazing things will happen. And I guarantee you, if you do that, if you sometimes we forget to trust in the process. I do too. So I have to trust in the process that things take time if we want to achieve something. Oh, I don't know if I read this. Okay, I'll read it. And what if suddenly we had a growing central to every physical process, but no one had fully acknowledged this? The quantum pioneer had discovered that our involvement with matter was crucial. um, Matter was crucial. Subatomic particle exists in all possible state until disturbed by us. By observing or measuring at which point they settle down at long least into something real. Our observation, our human consciousness, was utterly central to this process. Subatomic flux actually becoming some set of a thing, but we weren't in any mathematic of Herzenberg or Sergrener. They realized that we were somehow key, but they didn't know how to include us. As far as science was concerned, we're still on the outside of looking in. All the loose strands of quantum physics was never tied up into a coherent theory, and quantum physics got reduced to an extremely successful tool of technology, vital for making. I'm not gonna read that because it says something, but anyway, long time ago, I believe that, for me anyway, I believe that long time ago we humans were helplessness. We didn't have the power to change. Most people don't. Most people think they don't have power to change, right? So they don't change. Most people can't. They think they cannot change, but they can change. They're not an animal. Animal act on instinct. People act. People are animals in the sense if they don't have basic needs. If their basic needs are taken away, they act like animals. We've seen that already. People destroy things. People act like animals, and they. If people understand how to utilize their mind, they wouldn't act like animals. And my point being is, people don't understand that they have the power within themselves to create something beautiful, right? And so people go destroying things that, um, this world would have been a better place if people learn how to utilize their mind. But I think that most people are, when they were kids, they were inundated with data that are not good for you. I mean, most people say, yeah, um, what your parents gave you is all what they had. Yes, and you would blame the your parents for your upbringing. But then when you get older, you have the power to change that, because as you grow older, you have the control of your own mind. You have control of your ability to create things in the world. Anyway, I think that this book is great. I remember Ralph Smart was talking about this book. Okay, subscribe to my channel, watch my videos. I dropped the book, and I'll see you next time.